Wagwan guys, Raenest Exchange just ended and I want to give you guys the gist.
It's time for the Freelancing and Upwork panel session. So please step put.
I'll be talking more about the freelance panel session and giving you the best tip that was said during the panel session. I'll be talking about things that Upwork persons like
Kelly Monahan,
who actually founded Upwork Research Institute,
and Courtney Allen is a top earning freelancer on Upwork. She's a founder and she's also a CEO. I checked out her profile yesterday, Courtney Allen, on Upwork, and found that she already earned about $2 million on Upwork.
Also one of the panelists,
the popular guy you all know on Twitter,
Omo Alaja Abiola.
And there is also Ademlade Shodikpe Dosumuyi, and the session was moderated by Olani Musedi.
Freelancing is actually very interesting, but it can also be very challenging. So today we are going to be addressing these things. What are the things you can do to make good income as a freelancer?
So I'll give you a quick breakdown. Although quick doesn't mean this video will be short. You are in for a good time, not a short time. And I forgot to introduce my own self. My name is Sunday Begunde. Let's go! Number one mindset shift to actually kill imposter syndrome is what Omo Alaja Ajibola talked about.
There was a day a friend visited me and I told him, I said, I have been able to scam someone on Fiverr. He said, what do you mean? I said, just look at how much he paid me. $4,000. This was a project I spent a couple of days on, 4 days, to deliver the project.
He's talking about how this mindset separates successful freelancers from freelancers that are not successful on the platform.
I discovered that the biggest mindset shift for freelancers that are thriving and for the others that are merely surviving, like she said, living on peanuts. The first one is that lack of confidence and imposter syndrome.
And I think that's actually true. He shared how also that he got a $4,000 gig on Fiverr and it was feeling like, did I just scam somebody? When he's not a scammer, he's a freelancer, he's offering value, but he just had this imposter syndrome then because it was not something he was familiar with.
So when he paid me and I saw the notification on Fiverr, I was like, how is it even possible? $4,000, because I was actually fresh out of universities. So it took me 3-4 weeks for me to actually confirm if I made that money. That was like imposter syndrome. And I know that majority of us in this hall today can relate to that constant feeling of self-doubt, of your skill sets, of your competence. And my mantra is, if you are good with a particular software, a particular platform, a particular tool, if you are good with such tools, then you are good enough to monetize your skill sets.
So he actually fixed that by actually killing that voice saying to him that he is not good enough in his head. And that's what he's advising you as a freelancer, that you should know that you are good enough.
And that is the biggest mindset shift that I have discovered mentoring and teaching freelancers in their thousands. The second one that I have noticed is what I call being stuck in tutorial hell. Majority of us have Udemy accounts, we have LinkedIn accounts, we have Coursera accounts, and we can even start flaunt our certifications, our certificates. I enrolled for this course. I saw a coupon code from Mama Alaja on Twitter, and I enrolled for this course. However, we have been doing this for the past couple of months, even years, without a tangible result from it. Why? Because of that scarcity mindset, because of that being stuck in tutorial hell, right? And we focus more on learning, and we invest little energy on implementation.
Get certifications. Actually, that gives you even confidence. But don't get stuck in tutorial hell. Tutorial hell is a situation whereby you just enjoy watching tutorial. You want to start content creation. You've watched all the tutorials possible about content creation, but you've not created a single content. Or you watch tutorials about Sunday, I binge watch your videos. I appreciate you. You watch all my videos about Upwork, but you don't implement. Someone tell me they watch my video a lot, and then maybe I have to review their profile, and I can see you still don't have an introduction video. So what have you been watching in my videos? Because I expect that if you watch my videos a lot, when I see your profile, I've actually seen people like that when I see their profile, I could tell that, oh, this person follows me, this person watches my video, because I can see they've implemented some things, especially the things that I know no other freelancer talks about, that I thought about it, tried it out, it worked. So you need to act on what you learn, implement fast, and you should not just be gathering certificates.
Just take action. You don't have to be perfect. You don't. Take actions. There's a mantra in project management called fail fast but fail forward. If you take actions now, you know where your setbacks are or where you should improve. Then the next time you take similar actions, you know where to improve.
Then let me get back to the panel session where Olaniyi Musedik actually added that technical skills alone won't actually cut it for you. You need business skills like negotiation and communication. He talked about a story of how a one-off project, during the interview, he was able to turn it into a permanent role for himself just because he nailed the pre-contract conversation.
I got a job, a business writing gig. We started working on the job. Then the client told me that he loved how I handled the job, like the speed and my responses. That's the technical part of it. Now to the business part of it, the client requested that we hop on a video call. He wanted to meet me in person. And trust me, if you are my client and you choose to meet me on video call, you are done. If you are supposed to pay $15 before, you can pay me $30 at the end of the interaction, because I have a lot of values to give you and I have a lot of energy that you are going to feel like this person is going to be a great addition to our team. We started discussing, then this client was like, I think I'm going to give you a permanent role for this job. Why? Is it like I'm just spectacular in what I do? No. But the way I related with the client, like a business person, I brought value, I asked questions. So when you want to scale through beyond your limits, you also have to think business, not just your technical skills.
The lesson from that is that you must always speak like you are worth it, because indeed you are worth it. Let's talk about another thing that was discussed during the panel session, and that is how to handle dry days like a pro. I also asked Olaniyi Musedik this on the red carpet. You need to check the red carpet conversation. Maybe I will link it in this video. I will link a playlist in this video so you can see other conversations. Okay, Olaniyi Musedik asked like how do freelancers handle dry days. Then note that I'm talking more about the African freelancers because I think they actually give more value, and Courtney actually had network issue, I think so. She later joined later, and I'm going to share with you guys what she said. That's more reason why I have to give this information as they ought, so I don't forget. Yeah, it might take a few days before I edit. So Ade Milade actually talked about how he tackles those dry spell period when gigs are not actually flowing in. He advised that you should hold on tight to what you've gotten, but always have side hustles as safety nets. Don't just depend on Upwork only. Do other gigs. If you have a 9-to-5 job, you can have the 9-to-5 job going if it would not affect your freelancing totally. And he also talked about how it is cool that you should actually save, and how you should save, that saving is actually good. And I love it when he said that. But he added something that was actually important, that saving is good, but if there was this trend of something is important, but something is importanter. Saving is important, but earning more is importanter. I know importanter is not a word. Okay, so he talked about his biggest move, for guys period when he's not able to get new clients.
I've had a period of my life where I didn't have any freelance role for a couple of months, 3, 4, and I had friends that were in this space, which I say, how far that you're not going to see any, why are you not reaching out? I say, I'm okay, it's not showing on my face. Because at that point, I built a safety net, right? Something to fall back on. But I think the most important, right, is regarding the job itself, right? We can talk here all day about how to save money, how to budget, how to spread it out a couple of months. But I think the best strategy for saving money is making more money. I think probably what I would advise the most is try to get more value from existing clients.
I think I've said that before on this channel. You go to your existing clients that you are doing social media for. Maybe now you've now gotten a certification for graphics design and you realize the client needs graphic design and not probably social media, or not, just this is an example. Or maybe like you are doing graphic design and now you can manage social media. You realize that the client you're already working for no longer needs a logo designer because the logo is good that you've done for them. But you also have social media skills. You can pitch that to your existing client, something like that.
In my experience, it's way easier to convert existing customers than to find new ones. Get more value.
So if you've gotten maybe like a new certification, flex it and offer premium services, then also you can find a way to charge more. So Omalaja added that you can use your dry spell days, the days when you don't get projects, to upskill yourself. Ademlade talked about upsell. Omalaja talked about upskill. That is the period when maybe like you have been eyeing like, okay, I need to learn automation. I need to. So that period when you are not getting projects could be a period when you could upskill yourself and also ask for referrals from your existing clients. The existing client you worked for, or the client you've worked for maybe like, especially for some of us, you work for 100 plus clients, and so just message them and ask for referrals. Do it politely and don't expect all of them to respond. Do you understand? Maybe one, maybe two, maybe three might respond, and that is fine. Do you understand?
There was a time in 2017, I had issues with my eyes. And I had to lock off the internet for a couple of months. So when I came back, Fiverr had ranked my gigs, unreplied messages on Upwork. So for like a month, nothing was forthcoming. What I did then was, one, like he said, was going back to the clients that we'd worked together in the past, then propose kind of discounts. Okay, I wrote this article for you. What if I wrote 10 articles for you and you pay half the price? For me, it has worked. It's worked then and it's still working now. It still work tomorrow.
So one could actually plan one's next gig that way. Do you want to know something that is crazy about upselling trick that I learned during the session? Just stick around. I'm going to share it in this video. Okay, let's talk about the third thing. And that is the fact that Olani Musedik actually asked the panelists that there seems to be a bias against Nigerian freelancers, and we all know about that. I've discussed that on this channel before. So he actually threw the question first at Omalaja that how do Nigerian freelancers actually beat international biases? Like the story of a software engineer that he shared.
Some times ago, I think last week or thereabouts, I saw a post that actually it's kind of saddening. I saw it on Facebook, published by a news outlet. Then I went on LinkedIn to check out the person affected. It was, I don't know, many of us might see that news. It's about a software engineer who actually got a job that's supposed to pay him like $270,000 yearly. They already hired him for the job. Like, he was hired for the job already. During the onboarding process, he was just like, he's a Nigerian, so he bidded for the job and he got it. So during the hiring process, instead of getting an appointment letter, you know what he got? A disappointment letter. They told him that, unfortunately, they can't work with him because he's a Nigerian. He tried to speak with them, but they told him that it's not something within their own capacity. This is something outside their capacity. It's like a regulation by the government in their country or something. And I believe a lot of us face these kind of challenges as Nigerians. So I want to ask you, how do you think Nigerian freelancers, and trust me, as a freelancer myself, a lot of my friends that left Nigeria already, that are in other countries, if they bid for a job, they get it faster than you, who is a Nigerian. So they tend to be like a stunted growth for you because of your locality. So what strategy do you think we can adopt as Nigerians to beat this kind of challenge?
Omalaja talked about how the biases against Nigerians was even more intense, like maybe around 2017 or thereabout. But some industries like cybersecurities, they have location restrictions and and due to compliance, like US compliance and all of that. So for Olaniyi's story, what I think may have actually even happened is, this H-1B visa by Donald Trump. So like if a US company is probably hiring you as I don't know, I think it applies to remote workers too. So the company might need to pay maybe like $100,000. That may not be $100,000. That may not be the exact situation, but I know there are a lot of compliance issues. Like maybe like you not being able to receive money through bills, and the company don't want to run with you because they don't want to create another payment system that is different from what they already have automated for all of their other employees.
Yeah, it happens in freelancing, and it has actually happened to me in the past. 2019, I got a job at SoChicks, one of the protocols in cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately, they couldn't onboard me because I'm a Nigerian. But I think this trend has reduced compared to 5-6 years ago. That is the truth. It has reduced. And experienced freelancers that started in 2016, 2017 understand what I'm talking about. But two things here. Number one, there are some industries that are traditionally restricted to outsiders, and there's nothing we can do about that. Particularly in privacy, particularly in compliance. It might not be compliance issues, but the regulation. I'm aware that the new Nigerian law states that a startup must employ about 30% of Nigerians in their company. So it could be such case. However, these are like the industry issues. But the question is, how can we position ourselves as Africans and Nigerian freelancers for better paying opportunities?
The way he illustrated, he said, don't try squeezing apple juice from a mango tree. Do you get? If you squeeze mango tree, you will get mango. We talk about the fact that you should research your client deeply and find startup founders on X or LinkedIn, not on Instagram, because they are more on LinkedIn and Twitter. That's X.
So that way, you've understood that this type of clients are not on Twitter, but on Instagram and Facebook. Then you face those platforms. If you're looking for a startup founder, where should you go to? Twitter, LinkedIn. If you are coming Instagram, Facebook, you are wasting your time. Most of them are not even on Facebook or Instagram. So understanding who your ideal clients are is the foundation of your success in freelancing.
Then you talked about how you can use tools like this Google My Business. You talked about how Google My Business can actually help, and you don't need to build an empire on rented land like Upwork, like Fiverr alone. Do you understand? Because you can mistakenly go against Upwork policy and they yank you off their platform. So if you built all your life around Upwork, when things happen on that platform, you lose everything you built. So you need to diversify your platform. If you can use multiple freelance platform, use it, and you need to also build yourself, maybe like off Upwork. So Musadik actually shared his own story. So he talked about how that didn't make him get the job because he built what he is worth, but the client thinks that, oh, why are you billing me like you are in America? Do you get? So he had the opportunity to speak with Upwork, like Upwork insiders, and then he said one of the things he advised them is that why is it that the first thing, like after your name, like your is it your GSS score, your badges and all, the first thing that the client see is your location. Like location should not be given that much priority. He said he suggested to them that, okay, like if you go to any other random website, you would see location at the very bottom of the website. Like you would go to this. So why is Upwork putting location? That he has advised them to change it, but he doesn't know whether they are going to take that advice. So he's pushing for platforms like Upwork to actually rethink how the profile display appear. Until then, just prove that you have value. Some of the clients would actually recognize that. And now let's talk about number 4. The fourth gem I'm going to be sharing in this video is a discussion, like a question that Olaniyi Musadik pushed to Courtney Allen, asking her, she is a successful freelancer on a global scale, crossing over $2 million, and asking how can African freelancers actually nail it, actually kill it, actually make the level of success that she's making. And her answer was for you to scale from being a single freelancer to building a team. team?
And it all has to do with scaling. So I started as a solo freelancer, and in about 9 months of focusing on freelancing full time, I started to earn, around $10,000 USD a month freelancing. And so it was at that point that I realized that I needed to begin, if I could not clone myself, I needed to figure out how to, bring people in order to scale and increase my overall capacity, and then in turn the amount of potential income or revenue I could generate. And so what I did was I brought in designers, I subcontracted, and so from there just kind of moved over the next couple of years, from 10,000 a month to 50,000 a month. And then eventually by 2021, I had brought in a project manager and, started hiring full-time employees in-house. And then it was at that point that, that I had evolved into over 100,000 USD a month in earnings.
She talked about the challenges that can come with building a team. You need to be disciplined and take small steps daily, and don't just hustle like as a freelancer. You need to build towards a time when you can actually start building a team. Okay, so and it's important that you build a system. Courtney's secret spice that she gave us during the event was that the process of every individual member of the team needed to be documented, so it is easier to replicate. Courtney Allen actually hires people who share similar values to us, so clients never actually complain about their work. She gets people that can actually do good quality of work. As a freelancer, you can't even escape it. At some point, you might have too many workload on your desk that you need to outsource some. That is how you actually grow from a one-man mopo freelancer to setting up a whole operation. So let me talk about the fifth thing that I took as my takeaway point from this session. AI is not your enemy. It is a tool. This guy, Ade Milade, actually dropped a banger on not losing jobs to AI. Stop calling yourself just a freelancer or calling yourself just a writer. AI is eating up entry-level gigs, but it is also lowering the barrier for those tasks to get done by professional you. The thing is that become an expert. Present yourself as an expert. AI can't actually touch high-level nuances and critical thinking in some fields. So you can use AI to automate boring stuff like data entry or basic crafts. So you can actually focus on big money project. Let AI be a tool and you be the brain. Then after Ademilade was done with this, Molani Musedik said something in the line of a story.
So I was hired to work 20 hours weekly for a client. I started working and I realized that this client actually needed more editor. It was like an editorial role. This client needed more editor, but they wanted me to work 20 hours. Why will I work 20 hours when you need more editor? What did I do? So what I did next was that my contract stated 20 hours. They had more jobs. I completed my 20 hours and still continued working. At the end of 2 weeks, every 2 weeks they pay. At the end of the second week, I was asked to send my invoice. Then I submitted invoice for 40 hours. I have nothing to lose. It's just my time. It's not like I bought anything, right? I did 40 hours, submitted invoice for 40 hours. Then the client was like, your contract stated 20 hours. How do you work 40 hours? I told them to ask the managing editor whether I did 40 hours or not. The managing editor confirmed that I did 40 hours. I knew they needed more, right? Then I gave more. Then I proved that I can actually give more. You know the next thing they did? They changed my contract. Immediately, updated it to 40 hours. Another time they came to me, I was like, Olani, can you do up to 60 hours? I told them I can do 80 hours. What am I doing? I told them I can even do 80 hours if you want me to do it.
That's the power of leveling up your offer. I'm just giving super summaries of the conversation. So number 6 is that think in terms of ecosystem, not just in terms of a single gig. Courtney came back and then shared a mindset for big money. She said that you need to be very audacious. You need to be able to carry that money in your mind so that you can carry it in your bank account. You need to set one goal at a time and crush that one goal, then you level up the goal. Don't just freelance, build an ecosystem. That actually means multiple skills, using multiple platforms, getting multiple income stream. Omo Alaja now came in here. He doubled down on the fact that African freelancers need to collaborate more. Why not team up to start an agency? Why not team up with maybe other freelancers or some other persons in your cycle that are skillful to start an agency or a startup? And then Lade was talking about the fact that everybody needs to network like crazy.
Just to let people know, opportunities could literally come from anywhere. And with each conversation, what you're doing is when people say, oh, you got lucky, you are increasing your luck surface area. Because with each person that knows what you do, that's a potential person that can refer you, a potential person that can connect you with someone that could change your life.
One conversation can actually change everything for you, but you've got to be consistent and put yourself out there. If there is something I hear a lot of people say at Raenest events is putting yourself out there, and that is because it truly works. It truly attracts opportunities to you. You need to tell people what you do. You need to shout what you do on the street of Twitter, on the lane of Instagram, on TikTok, anywhere you can possibly say it. Put yourself out there, and that actually increases your luck surface area. Then Musadek actually reminds freelancers that, outsourcing your job to other freelancers is fine, but you need to ensure that there are people who can deliver high quality, and you need to be very careful so they don't just ruin your reputation online. For me personally, the people I've actually outsourced jobs to, they've been amazing and phenomenal. And even sometimes when I just start working with someone and then I feel like, the person is not good, I try to groom them. So that's something you should also consider. So let's talk about the last thing I'm going to talk about Raenest today.
Mr. Olani, let's say you were to lose all your clients, your current clients, your portfolio, everything gone except one thing, which is the skills and everything you've learned over the years. That's the only thing you have. What are the steps you would take to land your first client all over again?
Malaja actually answered this.
Let's say you are starting from scratch, no portfolio, no clients, no access to Upwork, no access to Fiverr. What else again? No access to Contra, right?
Only your skills.
Okay, only your skills. Number one is there are some clients, let me not say clients, there are some prospects and corporates, organizations and companies that are always in hiring mode. What do I mean? Maybe there was a change of management, maybe like GigPay now, maybe they introduced new products to the market, or maybe they are a startup that recently raised funding. These pointers are super, super important for freelancers. And again, we have many global companies called accelerators. What they do is just to back and fund startups in the space. A16Z is there, Y Combinator is there, ASO is there, like 60, 17 of them. And on their websites, there's a separate section dedicated for portfolio companies. It means these are the companies or businesses that we back and support, that we give money to, go and use it for whatever business you want to use it for. And for instance, if a company raised funding a week ago, few days ago, there's high probability that they're hiring. Now, you as a freelancer, if you want to work with those companies, there's a Boolean search on Google that you can use. If I want to work with healthcare companies, for instance now, I'll go to Google and type healthcare plus raise funding plus US or any location. Healthcare, it could be healthcare, it could be fintech, it could be crypto or Web3. What Google would do is to kind of aggregate all healthcare companies, and there is a section on Google that is hugely underutilized, the tools section. If you click on those 3 arrows, it will bring tools for you. Then you can filter with dates. That means, Google, could you restrict your search to a week? I only want companies that announced funding, and this funding was announced a week ago. Don't search your entire database. You will have close to 300, 400 companies throughout the world or even the US. That's the first step. Second step is to have something like a spreadsheet and enter the names of those companies into the spreadsheet. Then a column will be for decision makers. Because they are startups, oftentimes they could be just like between 2 to 10 employees. And most of the 2 to 10 employees, most times, are just technical people, front end, back end, DevOps, CMO, CTO, and stuff like that. Depends. So there's a high probability that they are looking for people in design, people in marketing, you as a writer, you as a manager, you as you're into SEO and most of those roles. Then you have like a separate section for decision makers, the CTO, the CEO, the CMO. Those are the C-suite executive. Then the last column will be for their contact duties. It could be email address. Most times it could be their number. Personally, I use numbers. If I want to prospect, I use numbers personally, and I don't even call. What I do is to save their contacts, their number on WhatsApp, and I message them on WhatsApp. And most times, I don't even get those gigs. I just do it to show you that these things are possible. So there are 2 extensions that you can download. Number 1 is Apollo.io. Number 2 is Contact Out. And I think now there is Snuff.io too. So if you go to the website of those startups, and after installing your extensions, Apollo, Snuff.io, Contact Out, if you hover your mouse on the extension, automatically it will extract their contact details. Your anchor now should be that you've already designed. It could be a dashboard, it could be their article, it could be their newsletter. What I always use is I've written 2-3 articles for you that I think you will like. Don't forget, you've not written anything. You've not. But we want to assess their readiness. We want to gauge maybe they are truly looking for people with our skill sets. What I always use is I've written articles for you. I've analyzed your data set. It might not be their data set. It could be data sets of relevant or related companies in the same verticals, right? Do you have time to go over it? That's like a signal. And in sales, it kind of sends a signal to them. Okay, you're not asking for anything upfront. You're not even selling anything to me. You're just proposing something like a free gift. So if they say, okay, yes, I want to check, I want to take a look, then you can now write whatever you want to write for them. That's like the practical, surest way of landing your first clients without a portfolio.
That's one thing Omalaja talked about. So have you ever pitched a startup before, or you just depend only on Upwork? Share your story below. Okay, so this panel wasn't just talk. It was a blueprint for turning gigs into wealth. And now, whether you are on Upwork, on Fiverr, or you are pitching to startup, these tips are actually cheat codes that you would find valuable. So drop in the comment, what is your next move? And if you love this recap of the event, please smash that like button and share with a friend. I'm just taking like the few things I think I remember. Even that's why I have to shoot this video today. I don't know if I'm going to post it today or tomorrow. It might take maybe some weeks to post it out, but at least I'm able to capture the ideas and share with you. I hope this is valuable. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.